The departure hall of Nexus Prime Spaceport buzzed with the usual chaos of 1,000 different species rushing to their gates. Kanat checked his wrist display for the third time in as many minutes. Gate 47 Beta. Boarding in 12 minutes. He quickened his pace, weaving between a family of crystalline Luxarians and a hulking Vraxian merchant. That's when he heard it, a soft, distressed clicking sound that cut through the ambient noise like a knife. Kanat stopped. Every logical part of his brain screamed at him to keep moving. He'd waited 3 cycles for this flight back to Earth. Missing it would mean another week stranded on this overcrowded station, burning through credits he didn't have for overpriced accommodation. But he'd never been good at ignoring people in need. He turned and spotted her immediately, an elderly Quilothian woman, her 6 spindly limbs trembling as she struggled with an oversized cargo case. Her pale blue exoskeleton was marked with the deep grooves of age, and her compound eyes gleamed with frustration as passengers flowed around her like water around a stone. Kanat jogged over. "Excuse me, ma'am. Do you need help?" The Quilothian's antennae perked up in surprise. She regarded him with those multifaceted eyes, and Kanat saw the universal expression of exhaustion that transcended species. "Young human," she clicked softly, her translator rendering it an accented standard. Yes, this case, too heavy. My porter service, they never arrived." Kanat glanced at his display. 9 minutes. He looked at the case. It was massive, probably containing trade goods or personal effects. Then he looked at the elderly alien, alone in a crowded spaceport. He smiled. "I've got you. Where do you need to go?" "Gate 52 Gamma. But you must have your own flight." "Don't worry about it," Kanat said, already hefting the case. It was heavier than he expected, but manageable. "Let's get you there." As they walked together, the Quilothian introduced herself as Matriarch Vesara. She spoke of her granddaughter's bonding ceremony on Quiloth Prime, of trade routes she'd traveled in her youth, and of how kindness had become increasingly rare in the galaxy's rush toward profit. "Most species now," she clicked sadly, "they see an old Quilothian, and they see delay. Inconvenience you humans, though. I've heard stories." Kanat laughed. "Don't believe everything you hear. We're not all heroes." "Perhaps not," Vesara said. "But you stopped. That is enough." They reached Gate 52 Gamma with minutes to spare. As Kanat set down the case, Vesara grasped his hand with surprising strength. "What is your name, young human?" "Kanat. Just Kanat." Her antennae quivered, a Quilothian smile. "Thank you, just Kanat. May your path be filled with stars." Kanat sprinted back toward Gate 47 Beta, but he knew before he arrived. The display showed his flight, departed. A red hologram blinked mockingly. Closed. He sighed and approached the service desk, where a bored-looking Zenthari attendant barely glanced up from her datapad. "Missed your flight?" she droned. "Yeah. When's the next one to Earth?" 6 standard days. Next available seat in economy is 2,400 credits. Kanat winced. He had maybe 600 credits left. "Any chance of something cheaper? Standby? Cargo hold?" The Zenthari's expression didn't change. "No." He was about to argue when a commotion erupted behind him. Matriarch Vesara was clicking rapidly at a tall, impeccably dressed woman with dark hair and commanding presence. The woman's eyes, sharp and intelligent, were locked on Kanat. She walked toward him with the confidence of someone who owned every room she entered. Kanat noticed the subtle insignia on her collar, a constellation of stars arranged in a very specific pattern. His heart skipped. That was Stellar Pathways' corporate logo. The largest interstellar airline in the galaxy. "You're Kanat?" the woman asked. Yes." She extended her hand. "Bella Cortez, CEO of Stellar Pathways." Her smile was enigmatic. "Matriarch Vesara just informed me that you missed your flight because you helped her. Is that true?" Kanat's mind reeled. I just carried her case. It wasn't—" "It was everything," Vesara interrupted, clicking beside Bella. "This human sacrificed his own journey for a stranger. No expectation of reward. No recognition, simply because it was right. Bella's expression softened. Matriarch Vesara sits on our board of directors. She's one of our largest shareholders. And she's just told me that if Stellar Pathways doesn't exemplify the values you demonstrated today, then we've lost our way. She turned to the Zenthari attendant whose boredom had transformed into wide-eyed panic. Please arrange immediate first-class passage for Mr. Kanat on our next earthbound vessel, company expense. And I want a full review of why Matriarch Vesara's porter service failed. Yes, Director Cortez. Kanat stood frozen. I don't understand, You just showed the kind of character we claim to value in our mission statement, Bella said. Compassion, service, humanity. She paused, and her smile widened. Do you know what HFY means, Kanat? He shook his head. Humanity fa. Yeah, she said. It's a phrase that's spread across the galaxy. A recognition that your species has something special. Not strength or technology, but heart. You proved it today. She handed him a card. When you get back to Earth, contact my office. We're always looking for people who understand that kindness isn't a weakness. As Kanat boarded his first-class shuttle 30 minutes later, complete with a private cabin and complimentary drinks, he stared out at the stars and laughed. He'd missed his flight to help an elderly alien. She'd owned the airline. And somehow, in a galaxy of trillions, he'd been reminded that simple kindness was the most valuable currency of all.